Hi everyone, it's me Cheryl. I hope you're all alright. Today is Wednesday and I've got a few things to show you, a few finished items and a few new beginning works in progress. Okay, so first with the finished items. Okay, so I've got a couple of things to show you for this segment. My youngest son is into Pokemon Go. I am too, but not to the extent of him. Well, I think it's opportunity. Anyway, I decided to make him a hat. So here it is. I'm using Margaret Alanda's hat pattern. The only difference is I instead of doing 6 chains into the ring, because it peaked too soon, I think, I decided to increase it to 8 chains into the ring and worked on it from there. I use Karen Simply Soft, which is quite a thin worsted, isn't it? And at first, when I was trying the 6 chains into the ring, I was doing 5mm hook, but I wanted the stitches closer together, so I went down to 4.5mm. So really, they're the only two different. Oh, I think also I did a different amount of rows here and here. I'm not really sure, but whatever. Anyway, I also decided, I'll do one for CJ. And there's that one. So there they are, both together. So I should be sending them up to that one of those hats up to Leeds. And I decided my son likes little amigurumi. So I made a Pokeball. It was a YouTube pattern. I will put the link in the description. I can find it easy. So I'll just basically use that. So he'll definitely like that. He'll display that, but he better wear the hat. Anyway, the other thing I'm sending up to him is the socks. I finished them on last Friday. What date is it today? It's the 17th today, so it's the Friday just gone. And they're in the blocks. And they're mostly lined up. I took a gamble because it wasn't going to line up, and I thought, okay, how much yarn is left? And I weighed it, and it was out of 50 grams, it was 17 grams that was left. So I roughly got the things lined up. It's not exact, but it's near enough. And I took a gamble, and that was roughly 17 grams again. Maybe a bit less, because I had a bit left over on the toe. So yeah. They're looking great, and they're all blocked and ready to go up north to him. Okay, now I'll show you what I've been working on. I've started working on and continuing working on. One random thing, I just decided to use up any yarn. I decided to do squares again, but crochet squares in a different way. Join as you go. A few episodes ago I showed you a blanket, which I'm still working on, but I haven't added to it recently because I've been really going full throttle with the sock. It's the same kind of thing as that, but crochet, and it's crochet in the back loop. Yeah, crochet in the back loop, and it's join as you go in exactly the same fashion as the knitted pattern. And that looks really good. I need to use stitch markers, because it's easy to lose stitches when it's all like, you're basically pulling it in like that, and that's when you can mislay stitches or mis-see them, if you like. But it's working okay, and I've only just started it, and it's just one of these things I'll pick up and do whenever. Another thing I started to do was, I saw the loom on the bed. I just saw, and I was going through yarn box. I was looking for something. Oh no, I was going to move the yarn box for the moment, and I just saw this yarn I had. It's a super bulky weight, and it's got a luminous thing in it, so it'll glow in the dark. And I've got some left over this green as well, so I just started to do a hat on the loom, except I think it was rather tight, especially when I got to the brim, when I was pulling the brim over. But it's okay now, it's eased up a bit. I'm hoping this yarn isn't really too thick for this loom. This is the equivalent to the Purple Nifty Knitter 5/8 of an inch gauge, but it's just a regular loom knit hat, or my typical kind of thing that I do now and then. And I'll show you it when it's finished. Another thing I'm working on, it's called the Kate Shawl, which I'm making for my mother-in-law for Christmas. I was going to do it last Christmas, but I didn't think I would have the time, and I ended up crocheting something else instead, which took a long time. The only thing with this is that I've got 609 stitches on the needle. That's the maximum I'm going to have on. And I've got this as well. I've put ravel cord. I'm feeding it through as I'm knitting a few stitches. I'm feeding through some ravel cord as a lifeline because I made a mistake a few stitches ago. I'm going to have to backtrack. It was on row, what row am I on? Have I finished this row? Have I started a new one? It was actually on the row I'm doing, but I went to finish it, I was getting towards the end and I thought, my stitch count isn't right, but I couldn't figure out where, and I should have stopped and went back and checked it, but I didn't. I carried on. I thought I'd just be able to, oh, it was a miss yarn over or something like that. I thought something like that, and it wasn't. And I did definitely another row, and then I came to a hiccup and I couldn't figure out why, but it was because of the mistake the row below. And then I came across it again the following row. Now bearing in mind this is 609 stitches a row, it's quite a long time to, so I spent some time tinking back. There were times when you tink back and the times when you just whip out the needle and pull it back, and this is one where you tink back. So that's what I'm doing with the ravel cord. It looks a bit messy at the moment because it's like a cord, interchangeable knitting needles. So I just need to sit there and move things around a bit, but it'll be alright once it's through. That at least I'll have something to frog back to. Maybe I should have just started pulling it through when I'd finished a row. That would have been better, wouldn't it? I think. Oh well, never mind. But anyway, that's it so far, and it doesn't really look much at the moment. Let's see if I can show you a bit of the pattern so far. Actually, it should be this way, because you start with originally 209 stitches and you extend after so many rows to 609, but then I'm going to be picking up stitches at this edge to go up over. I don't know if this was a little ambitious. It's just the size of it, it's just the amount of stitches, not the actual stitches themselves, because knits, purls, yarn overs, knit two together, slip slip knit, it's not a difficult stitch. So anyway, why does the camera keep telling me to smile? Hi everyone, it's me, Cheryl. I hope you're... Oh god, I forget I said that. Just being silly. I also did something else, but it was only because I found a pattern that was very nice. I've been wanting to do like a neck wrap for a long time, but I was busy concentrating on socks. And when I did, was it the last video I showed you, it's the Lazy Waves Shawlette. What I especially loved about that was the length of it, but the fact that it was narrow and you could wrap it around a couple of times and it wasn't heavy, whereas some shawls are more compact and deep, and then you're wrapping it round, although it goes round, there's a lot of bulk here and it just feels wrong. So I've been looking at different styles of shawls, and I've been looking at like the kind of wingspan dragon tail kind of things, because some of them are called dragon tails. But what I noticed about them mostly, crochet for instance, and Tunisian crochet, they're quite densely packed. Then I found this on a website, and it's double crochets, but it doesn't say what hook size to use or yarn weight or anything. It's just this, and I will put that link in the description box. But that's all it is. There's no written pattern. It's just this chart, which is dead easy. It really is. And so I just grabbed it wasn't even a full skein of yarn. It was like, I've just weighed it now. It's like 46 grams, and out of a 100-gram ball. So you'll recognise it because I've made a hat and a scarf out of this. And you can't see it yet because it's curly. So I don't know whether I should have used maybe a smaller hook to get it more compact, because I don't know if it's meant to look holy. And of course this would need blocking out, but would it stay or would it just curl? So I wonder if that's why you need the density. I'm not sure. And I thought, oh, maybe it'll go once round. So I thought, well, let's have a look. Which way do you even start? Do you start here and then go around? Not quite. Not quite. It looks odd. But it does look like it's just a bit of a clump, doesn't it? So even if we're to do that. But then you can't see any of the spikes, any of these here. Because it's all moulded together, and that doesn't feel right around my neck. Don't like that. So I may frog this and just do something else. I have no idea, but it was just pick up and grab, let's mess around with this and see what I can do with it. Just basically test out the pattern. It was fine. So it's a case of figuring out what yarn weight to use, what hook to use. But other than that, that's it. And I believe that is everything. So I shall wrap it up here. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.